You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
America has a normalcy bias. We've been trained to basically accept anything and everything out of these tyrants. But like putting paper on a hot stove, it'll brown, it'll crackle, it'll finally flash into flames. We are now reaching the flashpoint event horizon. I'll be quite frank, I don't have butterflies. I am physically ill thinking about Bill Ayers coming on in the next segment. I just know his whole MO. I know the whole program. And I know he'll just come on here and deny he works for the big mega rich to screw everybody over. God almighty. Like Obama and Obamacare meant to savage the hell out of poor people. I'm just so sick of these people. God almighty. It'd be bad enough if they were just dumb communists, but they're not. They know full well what they're doing. They've decided to cheat humanity. They've decided to screw everyone over. Let's play a great American who just died last year. Larry Grathwold, Vietnam veteran, Green Beret, 101st Airborne Division, former FBI Weather Underground informant who quoted Obama, confidant and former leader of the Weather Underground, is stating that those Americans who could not be re-educated in communist camps or the revolution will be eliminated in Mao cultural revolution style. And he wrote the book, Bringing Down America, and he's dead. Larry, 101st, blogspot.com. Let's go to a clip of a man speaking from the grave.
They also believed that their immediate responsibility would be to protect against what they called the counter-revolution. And they felt that this counter-revolution could best be guarded against by creating and establishing re-education centers in the Southwest, where we would take all the people who needed to be re-educated into the new way of thinking and teach them how things were going to be. I ask, well, what is going to happen to those people that we can't re-educate, that are die-hard capitalists? And the reply was that they'd have to be eliminated. And when I pursued this further, they estimated that they would have to eliminate 25 million people in these re-education centers. And when I say eliminate, I mean kill. 25 million people. And I want you to imagine sitting in a room with 25 people, most of which have graduate degrees from Columbia and other well-known educational centers, and hear them figuring out the logistics for the elimination of 25 million people. And they were dead serious.
That's from 1982, the documentary No Place to Hide. And I have been in the room with high-level communists that I didn't know were communists that I got down here to interview. Famous people. I'm not getting into it. Rob Dew witnessed it once. And that same crap started coming out of their mouth. And that we better join them and stuff. Too bad we got guns, Second Amendment. Doesn't matter how big a tyranny you bring in, no matter how many false flags. Even if you get the Civil War kicked off with the police to wipe them out and wipe most of us out, we're not stupid. We've got your game. Denying your program doesn't work anymore with us. So just be advised. Be advised big time that we know what's going on and we're warning people. And we're going to continue to warn people, and we've got the jump on you. If we go through this, though, it's going to make some of the major wars and things that have happened in this country before the Civil War look like a shadow of what's coming in this country. The entire Homeland Security apparatus is now focused on the counter-revolution. Gun owners, veterans, conservatives, libertarians, patriots. Hard-working people that make this country operate and run. They thought it couldn't happen in Germany or Russia or China or 100 other countries. Plus, we think we can't happen here. Baby, it is happening. Our borders are gone. Our country is being bankrupted by design. World planetary fascist government with a bunch of communists under it is taking hold. just as Gary Allen warned in 1972, and none dare call it conspiracy.
The average person's life is filled with unexpected challenges. Unlock the energy it takes to defeat these daily beasts with super male or super female vitality, specifically designed to assist the body in regulating proper hormone balance to create superior vitality in males and females. Supercharge and conquer your world at InfoWarsLife.com or call 1-888-253-3139.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put two and two together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds, is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled INFIDEL bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
Sold out for weeks due to the difficult and extensive proprietary process behind its creation. The exclusive InfoWars Life Secret 12 formulation is now back in stock. This ultra-clean vitamin B12 nutraceutical has been carefully crafted and developed over the last 2 years and is based on cellular science of how your body actively absorbs essential nutrients. Most forms of vitamin B12 are highly processed and synthetic and could not be properly absorbed by the body. Secret 12 is a binary of nutramedical grade, bioavailable coenzyme forms of B12, methylcobalamin, the same kind used in B12 injections, and adenosylcobalamin, the most bioactive form that has been created with our proprietary process. Secret 12 is taken by mouth, right on the tongue, and then swallowed. No needles, no injections. Don't take my word for it. Try it for yourself. Discover the secret. Secret 12. Supplies of Secret 12 are very limited. Secure yours today at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139.
Another major health threat, this one in Toledo, Ohio, where everybody in the entire city has been told not to drink the water.
Ohio's governor declaring a state of emergency.
Did you know that the average person uses about 80 to 100 gallons of water at home every single day? If there's a water emergency, will you be prepared?
Panicked residents forming long lines throughout the day.
We're here at a supermarket in Toledo. You can see the shelves empty where water once was.
To stay safe and healthy during a crisis, you must have access to safe, clean water. Water which will not be available at your local grocery store.
There's a mad dash on right now to stock up on supplies.
The ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system is a must-have for every modern, independently minded household. Protect your family's safety during an emergency. Go to InfoWarsStore.com today to purchase your ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system or call 1-888-253-3139.
A bomb exploded early this morning in the Pentagon, and left-wing terrorists telephoned newspapers to say they were responsible.
At midday, the Associated Press got a phone call from a man saying he was with the Weather Underground and that bombs would explode at the Departments of Interior and Agriculture and the Smithsonian before the day was out.
People calling themselves members of the Weather Underground last night planted bombs in federal office buildings in Washington and Oakland, California.
Credit for the Capitol bombing was claimed in a letter received by the Associated Press today, signed by the Weather Underground.
The explosion destroyed one of the Pentagon's 140 women's restrooms and blasted out a wall on the 4th floor.
They estimated that they would have to eliminate 25 million people in these re-education centers. And when I say eliminate, I mean kill.
From the front lines of the information war, it's Alex Jones.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now into the second hour of this worldwide broadcast, and I've got to hand it to him, joining us here on the 20th day of January 2015 on this Tuesday. Bill Ayers, you can say what you want about him. He is more than happy to go out and debate people that I guess he disagrees with. And he's the former head of the Weather Underground, distinguished professor of education and senior university scholar at the University of Illinois at Chicago. I'm not going to go over all the things that he's been involved in. Ayers has written extensively about social justice, democracy and education, the cultural context of schooling and teaching, as an essential intellectual, ethical, and political enterprise. He is a former vice president of the Curriculum Division of the American Educational Research Association, a member of the executive committee of AERA Council. His articles have appeared in the Harvard Educational Review. I'm not going to go over all of it. BillAyers.org. And I think what I want to do today is just let him have the floor the first 3, 4, 5 minutes and say what he has to say, because we were reached out to first by some of his people, and I'm glad this discussion or debate is now finally happening. They wanted to talk about Common Core, education, things like that. That's fine. I want to get into Obama and the legacy. I mean, I know Ayers was his mentor. I think Obama even lived with him for a while, and he can correct me if I'm wrong. And so, I mean, is Obama the messianic socialist leader they thought would come, or will that be another? I mean, was Mao the Messiah? Was it Lenin? Was it Stalin? I want to understand this. So Bill Ayers joins us. We'll also ask him about Larry Grathwohl, the FBI informant, and that clip you just heard. You know, does he say that's true, or is that not true? So Bill Ayers, thank you so much for coming on with us today. Again, BillAyers.org.
Thank you very much.
Well, where do you want to start?
Well, let me correct a couple of things. One, I don't have any people who could have reached out to you because I'm just a retired professor, and I write and I take care of my grandchildren. But
well, how did you end up getting on the show? Because I just remember months ago.
I have no idea. Somebody called me and said, would you do it? And I said, sure. That's number one. Number two, I was never the leader of the Weather Underground. I was one of the people who founded the faction within Students for a Democratic Society that became the Weather Underground. Number three, I was never a mentor to Barack Obama. He certainly never lived with me. He was a guy around the neighborhood. He's somebody I knew for many years, and I know it's been a big trope among some people on the right that somehow Barack Obama is not what he appears. He's got this black nationalist minister, Jeremiah Wright. He's got this Palestinian friend, and he's got me, who apparently ghost wrote his books. All of that is false. It's all silly, and if you just take a minute to think about it, it's somewhat ridiculous. So do you want to talk about Obama, the past, history, education? Where do you want to begin, Alex?
Well, first off, because I don't want to get sidetracked on minutia, I think you were here in town a while back from memory, and then wanted.
What town are you in?
Austin, Texas.
Yeah, I was in Austin not so long ago.
And I think it was one of the people that brought you then that contacted us and said, hey, would you want to debate him? And we're like, oh, yeah, that's going to happen. So that's cleared up there.
Okay, all right, good.
But all of that aside here, then let me just start with communism itself, because most communists say they're socialist, but then when you get around them in person, they start telling you about violent overthrows and the plan to take over. Do you endorse the type of communism we saw in Russia, in China, or how would you really describe yourself?
Well, the answer to your question is no. But, you know, I've been a person who my whole life as an educator, I've opposed the notion of labeling people in a simple-minded way. But yes, I am opposed to capitalism. I think capitalism is a predatory system. I think it's a system that leads to racism, exploitation, etc. So yes, I'm anti-capitalist, and I am in favor of participatory democracy, which has been true my entire adult life. And that includes global democracy, and it includes economic democracy. So yes, all of those things are true. I wouldn't, if you want to put a label on me, it's kind of complicated, because I would say on the First Amendment, I'm a fundamentalist. I am fundamentally in favor of the First Amendment. On the question of the economy, I tend towards socialism of a democratic nature. In terms of the government, I'm more of an anarchist or a left libertarian than anything else. So it's hard to put a single label and say, well, this is what you represent. No, it's not true. But I am definitely, I believe that we need more democracy. In any democracy, the solution to our problems is more democracy, more participation. So that's what I fight for.
Let's come at it from this angle then. Have you changed, or how have your views changed since you were one of the core people in the Weather Underground versus 2015?
Well, I mean, I'm now 70 years old, so of course I've changed. I change every day, as you do, and all of us change. But in terms of fundamental values, I am deeply opposed to war. I'm deeply opposed to imperialism. I'm deeply opposed to white supremacy. I've been an ally of and fighter for the Black freedom movement and for anti-colonial struggles.